you hear me. Strike a pose now, let get lit. Everyday girls, where you at? Holla if you hear me. Everyday girls, strike a pose now, let get lit. What we gotta say might be different, but we be really out here every day, trying to live it up. We just set the tone and we switch it out the blue. Show up every 24, that's just what we do. Said you need a break, soul sister, here's your invitation. We just made it, catch a little phase for your meditation. Let me do it. Everyday girls, where you at? Holla if you hear me. Everyday girls, strike a pose now, let get lit. What we gotta say might be different, but we be really out here every day, trying to live it up. What we doing? Ooh, ooh. Let me do it. Ooh.
Welcome back to Everyday Girls, where you just want to laugh, live, love with a soul sister.
Okay, you tried.
Or something like that.
You tried. We gonna have to work on that. We gonna have to work on that opener, but welcome back. We are very excited to be back recording another episode for you guys. This past week we were not recording on our normal days just because we needed a break. We needed a mental break to just take a time out, regather some of the feelings and emotions that came up, and
right.
I'm glad that we did it because now we're back refreshed, rejuvenated, and we can bring our best selves to the show. So
Yes, I feel like we were together like every day preparing for this, and then would talk all the time, and if we weren't talking, we were texting, and sometimes you just need a break, period. And I feel like she said, a lot of the old emotions and old feelings and trigger warnings of the things that we talked about, we ain't talked about some of that stuff in years. And so me and her had to have some like offline background conversations and get to the bottom of some things, and just take a break. And so we are back refreshed.
And it's really crazy, I think, what that inner voice inside of you, or just what the devil will try to make you believe, because I was bringing up things with her like that apparently were figments of my imagination, and it was just kind of like, where are all of these emotions coming from?
I was doing the same thing. I feel like we were ultra sensitive for some. Well, I knew why I was ultra sensitive. I was on my pig.
Yo, what?
I was. It was that time of the month. So, and I feel like in my older age, I didn't feel like I used to be that pressed during,
because I feel like it's one of those things where you know that you're acting crazy and sounding crazy, and that you're having these irrational feelings, and you know that your period is about to come, but you don't. I feel like for me, I never connect that. I just can't explain why I'm acting crazy, and then as soon as the drop happened, I'm like, oh, okay.
The drop.
That's why I was acting like that. And so, yeah, we were smart. We did good with taking a break. So I want to do something fun today. To start us off. I want to do something fun, but I need you to say that you're going to do it no matter what it is. Say it right now.
No. Okay, well, we can edit out, so yeah, I'll do it.
I want to play a really quick game of truth or dare.
Okay.
So think about a truth and a dare. We're going to both do one each.
Okay.
And I'm going to start.
Okay.
So truth or dare?
Truth.
You always pick truth first. Always.
I was always the kid that picked truth.
And I was always the kid that picked dare. That says a lot about us. Okay, on a scale of 1 through 10, how attractive do you think you are?
Come on now. You asked this because you know the answer to this question. 12.
Wait. That was unexpected. I knew you were going to say 10, but I didn't know you would say 12.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all, Kristen thinks she's the most attractive person in the world. But wait, it didn't start recently. Can you tell them?
Yeah. When I was a chubby little 9-year-old, one of my good friends, we've been friends for over 25 years. Her name is Lily, and shout out to Lily. And I wrote on the back, she has a picture of me at 9, and I wrote on the back of the picture, too cute, too fine for life. I know you want to look at my beautiful face, so hang this up. Like, I was just like that. What's wrong with me?
But where do you think that confidence came from?
I was just thinking about that the other day, because I was looking at some old pictures like, girl, you was busted and disgusted. walking around like.
Yeah, but you still had that inner confidence as a child, which has led into adult. It don't matter what you look like or feel like. At the end of the day, nobody can tell you nothing about how fine you are.
I know, and I think it's more so just maybe the God in me. It has to be, because I don't always feel good physically. I don't always love the way I look, but then I'd be like, but I'm still fine though. I don't know. It just comes back. Like it haunts me.
It haunts me. Well, I love that about you. And another quick story about that. I didn't know. Okay, I don't know how this is going to make me sound, but I know that I'm a beautiful girl. I always knew that, but I didn't really know how beautiful, and I'm talking outward beauty. I always knew that I was beautiful on the inside, but as far as outward beauty, if people would be like, you so pretty, you so this, I would be like, oh, okay. I didn't really receive or know how to take that compliment. It was only when Kristen came into my life where she kind of called it out, like, you don't really know how beautiful your face is.
She did not know. She really didn't know. I was like, wait a minute. This isn't like fake humility. She really doesn't know how gorgeous she is. And so I took it upon myself to continuously let her know that, until I feel like one day she looked in the mirror and was like, oh, Zam.
She created a monster, because then you couldn't tell me nothing about me. But sometimes it just takes that one person to come along and build you up and make you see something about yourself that you don't. So thank you for making me feel like I'm fine and really believe that. I appreciate you.
You are, but I think her beauty definitely radiates from I feel like, she's beautiful, but if she was ugly on the inside, it might not shine that much. But I think because she's so beautiful on the inside, when people see her, it's like a double whammy. We was just somewhere the other night, and somebody was like, whoa, girl, you are beautiful. Like, she is a showstopper.
And now I say thank you,
instead of finding a compliment about them to deflect.
Yes.
I'm proud. I'm so proud. I'm so proud.
Okay, my turn. Do you have something?
No. Wait, you put me on the spot. I have a truth. And it's a truth only because I want to hear this story.
So you set me up.
So truth or truth?
Truth.
What is the most awkward date you've ever been on?
Ooh. Is there a specific story you're hoping I tell right now?
Yes, but I don't think it has much to do with the date. I just think it was the after call for me.
Can you give me a hint?
Construction jeans. Well, first of all, you met this person while he was at work.
Okay.
And I feel like he liked her, whatever. They would see each other for the, and then finally he made the move, asked for your number. I don't know. Somehow y'all ended up on a date, but you had never seen him outside of work in his regular clothes.
Okay, now I remember. Okay, I got it. So y'all know how a man in a uniform is just something about it. That's
true.
like,
that's true.
Oh, any man can put on a uniform and immediately his attraction levels are going to go up. So, right, when I met this man outside of his work clothes, he showed up looking like somebody's uncle. He had on maybe some Sean John baggy jeans that were wrinkled, which were like 20 sizes too big.
They had the construction loop. Where you slide your hammer in.
They had the construction loop that you slide your hammer in. And he just looked scrawny. Like, it was something outside of him being outside of his uniform that made him look weak. And I was just like, oh. Okay, how are you? It just was different.
And I feel like you dress nice anyway, but when you go on dates, you always look so nice. Like, you take pride in going out on a date.
Yeah, I was not dressed
like the
for
movies
the occasion.
Which made his underdressing 10,000 times worse. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, well, that was not
awkward, but I just wanted to tell that story.
You just told that story. You didn't have to make that my truth.
Okay, what is something you did as a teenager that you regret now?
That's a really good question. I'm just going to tell you the first thing that came to my mind. I took a piece of thread and put it over my nose and did this and like burned a line into my nose.
Why?
It's still there. Do you see?
I've always seen it. Why?
I don't know why. You look so hurt.
Because maybe you was trying to like get the excess skin off, or you was trying to put the line there? Come on now, you're gonna have to explain to our listeners.
The worst part is I don't have an explanation. I don't know.
Okay, well, I got something worse for you. It's gonna make you feel a lot better. When I was 11, I wasn't quite a teen yet, but I had a little stash. I took not tape, but I took label printmaker stickers, put it on my mustache, and tried to wax it off. It did not work.
Obviously.
But it did leave a burn mark on my face. And when my daddy found out what I did, he rode me for weeks.
What was he saying?
He was like, "You are dumb as hell." He was like, "What was you thinking? You burned your face?" It was really, yeah. So you feel better about your line?
I still can't. If you ask me why I did that, I have no idea. But that's the first thing.
Did you think the line was cute?
Kristen, you asked me what I thought and what I was trying to do. I don't know. I just indented a line in my nose for no reason. And I was just like, oh. It was just in there. And it's still burned. It's like a scar now. So if you ever see me out in the street, look for my line because it's there. You know that's getting edited out. If you ever see me in the street, look for my line because it's there. Like, what are you even talking about? Okay. You gotta leave it in. No, okay. Dare time.
Okay,
dare time.
Okay, dare. Because I can't think of no dare, so I need some help.
Okay, I dare you to dance for 15 seconds straight with no music right now.
That ain't even a dare.
Go.
Okay, start me over.
No, you got it. That ain't even a dare.
I'm finna do crunch.
15 seconds.
5, 6, 7, 8. Is the 15 seconds up?
You can't make your own music. You look so dumb. Not the cardigan.
Hey, so now I know what your dare gonna be. You gonna love it. Okay, dare or dare.
Dare.
Sing your favorite karaoke song. 10 seconds of it, because you gonna get carried away.
Got a light. I know you're shivering. It's nothing, they turned off my heat. And I'm just a little weak on my feet. Would you light my candle?
I'm actually quite impressed, nigga.
Do y'all know what that's from? My favorite musical, Rent. And I could sing that entire song, and I could have kept going.
But I just feel like you gave your best singing voice. When you listen to that back, you're going to be severely impressed. No, I'm serious.
You always trying to
Kendall. That's what you did.
Shout out to Rent. I love that. If you have not seen Rent, please check it out because you're missing out.
Hey, I got one more truth question for you. When was your first kiss and what was it like?
Oh my God, y'all. My first kiss was somewhere I was not supposed to be. This was one day after school. And so my mom worked really hard to put me and my brothers in the good schools. So she would use her friends' addresses who lived in like affluent neighborhoods. And so with that being the case, we had to wait for her sometimes to drive an hour to come pick us up after school. So after school, there was nothing but time. Usually we were in an extracurricular activity, but apparently at this time I wasn't. And so I was friends with all the black kids because I went to an all-white school, and we would go to somebody's apartment complex where all the black people lived in this one apartment complex. And so we would be going to hang out at somebody's apartment. And so there was this guy. Oh my God. I wonder if he's still out there. My first kiss was with a guy named Turdius.
Turdius?
Turdius.
Turd?
Dius.
Dius.
My first kiss was with a guy named Turdius.
How old?
I was 14.
Dang,
I think
I
I was
beat you.
Of course you did.
What you trying to say?
You know what I'm trying to say. Which is another thing we need to clear up from a previous episode.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so in previous episodes, y'all heard me say I had a lot of male friends with benefits. Well, Terrence is the only person who done gave me the D, so take benefits with a grain of salt, okay? It was high school benefits.
Kristen's benefits are not what other people's benefits are. When she was talking about benefits, she was talking about kissing. One day she was like, yeah, I used to get around. I was like, oh, you did? She was like, yeah, I was kissing everybody. I was like, that's getting around?
Kissing is a benefit.
Okay, girl.
And now people take kissing more intimate than sex.
Very
a lot
true.
of people do that. Anyway, finish your story about Tertius.
I mean, there's not much of a story. I kissed Tertius, and you know how like you rehash a memory and then you get nostalgia from certain smells? Tertius's kiss smell like Burt's and Bees. Anytime I smell Burt's and Bees lip balm, I think of that moment.
Wow.
So that was my first kiss, 14 years old, with Tertius. Tertius, if you out there.
Tertius, if you listening, shout out to you and your Burt's Bees lip balm. So, hello, do you want to know about my first kiss?
Sure.
My first kiss I was in 7th grade, so I was 12 or 13, one of the two. And I was so nervous. And like back then, I went to a private school. You set up the kiss. Like it was like, okay, so y'all gonna be here at this time. Now, mind you, this person was my boyfriend for like months, the whole school year pretty much. But I had never even barely hugged him. I was so shy. He was so fine. He was so fine.
Dang, I'm gonna have to ask you who this is offline.
Yeah, I'll show you a picture later. He was fine. It got set up, and so we had like approximately 1 minute where no teachers would come. And so we went in this classroom. My friends pushed us in there together. They closed the door. Then we kissed. And I just heard, this kiss, this kiss. I was so happy. It was great, actually.
Okay, well, that sounds like the moment that birthed your destructive path into kissing everybody and their mama.
Well, first of all, you're exaggerating here. I ain't kissed everybody and their mama. Wow. Okay, that's what we doing. That's what we doing. That's what we doing. But yes, it was very enjoyable. I didn't kiss anybody again until like 2 years later.
Oh, that's a cute story. Is your high school crush, just think of one, still fine today?
Terrence? Yes. What about you?
My high school crush.
Wait, is a crush somebody that you actually was with, or maybe like somebody out of your reach?
No, how about nobody that you were with? Because I'm thinking of a high school crush that I was never with because he was too popular. He was like a jock. He was on the basketball team. He was super tall. I thought he was so fine, but I was not that in high school. Like, I was definitely the nerd, the lame. I came from an all-white school to an all-black school with my dirty Chucks that I could get away with wearing at the white school. Completely unacceptable at the black school. I learned that very quickly. I could get flamed at the drop of a dime. But I came, and he was, and you know him too, and he is still fine today.
Girl, you're going to have to tell me who this is. Well, honestly, I don't remember having any crushes like that where I was like, it was always like a celebrity or something.
Who is your celebrity crush?
I think Jamie Foxx.
Jamie Foxx is your celebrity crush?
Yeah.
Who is my celebrity crush?
Nobody.
Aside from J. Cole. That don't really count anymore because he let me down.
Why don't you tell that story?
Oh, my God. Yeah, let me tell that story because maybe it'll get back to him. So
yeah, he watching.
He is definitely watching. So I had this undying love for J. Cole. It was ridiculous. It was almost like an obsession, which was out of character for me because I don't obsess over celebrities like that.
Right.
So if a celebrity is really speaking to me and I'm really like entranced with them, it's for a reason. So for years, I was obsessed with J. Cole. I loved him. I made sure that every time he was in Chicago, I had concert tickets. He came here one year. he had his Dollar in a Dream concert, which was if you paid $1, you can get entry into his concert. But the lines were so long. I stood in line for 8 hours. It was so hot. I was sweating so that 8 hours. I took off work and everything. So that just shows you my dedication. So over the years, I had gone to 10 J. Cole concerts. 10. I went to 10 J. Cole concerts here and a couple outside the state as well. Well, he had the Dreamville Festival. It was his first year doing the Dreamville Festival. It was in North Carolina, and it was on April 11th or something like that. And my birthday is April 9th, so it was no question to me what I was going to be doing for my birthday that year. And so I felt like after all of my hard work and dedication, I deserved to meet him.
Yes, you do. I agree.
Felt like I deserved to meet him. Now, I did have one like chance run in with him at one of the concerts where I asked him for a picture and he's like, no, baby girl, I ain't got time. And so the girl that I was with at the time at the concert snuck like this really convoluted picture of me like in the forefront of him in the background. So it wasn't really a picture with him, but I really wanted a picture with him and to meet him. Not to fangirl or anything, but just, you know, this is a two-way street. But I'm feeling like I'm doing all the work in the relationship. Okay. So I got all of my friends to rally for me and write into.
But you didn't even ask. Everybody just jumped on board.
That is so true. I didn't. I put it out there that I wanted to meet him at the Dreamville Festival and like get a picture with him. And I wrote to his Instagram and his Twitter and like any email that I can find with the Dreamville record label. And so then I put this out there and wrote it, and then people was like, oh, we gonna help you out. So everybody started writing in. Oh, the funniest one I'll read to y'all one day was from one of my friends, Miles, who has now passed on because of COVID, which is really sad. But he wrote the funniest letter. Like after Miles wrote that letter, I just knew like, oh yeah, this is gonna work. Well, it didn't work. We went to the concert, and we were fairly close to the stage, weren't we?
We were right at the front.
And not only did it not work, but I just never heard anything back from anybody. Not
right.
like a PR rep or anybody to be like, hey, we hear you, but we can't make it happen. I just didn't hear anything. I was really let down after that. And
right, he could have sent you a T-shirt signed or something.
A little tweet or something.
Right.
Which I don't know if there's an entitlement expecting that he could have done that, but I just feel like I wasn't just like a watered down regular fan. Like I invested time and money into just expressing how my adoration for him. So I just thought I could get a little something in return, but I didn't. And after that, I was just really salty with him for a really long time. So yeah, that would be my celebrity.
Yeah, I feel like that was really sad. We the whole concert, we was like, is this the moment?
Is he going to do it? Is he going to say my name?
But I had to realize, like, after the fact, if we took the time and did that, I'm sure other people, you feel like you the biggest fan, you feel like you the craziest one, but it's somebody crazier. It's somebody more stalkerish. And to our 50 emails, somebody probably sent 1,000. Like, it's somebody who went harder. So they probably.
That's very true.
He probably didn't want to choose. I'm trying to give him the benefit of the doubt.
I can always give him the benefit of the doubt. He deserves it. So shout out to J. Cole. I still love you. I was just a little mad at you for a little while.
Okay.
Anyway, we just been playing this whole episode. Do you want to talk?
Okay. Playing is always more fun.
I started therapy today.
Ooh.
I started therapy today. So I have just been doing things in my life that have been making me feel really exposed and just really naked and really vulnerable. And I found myself even in certain professional settings where I'm like having these emotional revelations that cause me to cry in the middle of, you know, a meeting or something with people that I shouldn't be crying with. And so I recently just ended a relationship. I'm in the midst of a breakup, and so it's the whole idea that when one door closes, all these other doors are starting to open for me, and that's actually happening. I'm having these opportunities in front of me, but I felt like if I'm going to be in rooms with people who I need to be making an impression on, I have to be able to show that I can handle these things that are coming up for me emotionally. And so just moving forward in my next chapter of my life, I want to make sure I'm as mentally healthy and sound as I can possibly be to show up in these meetings and in these rooms with these people, the best version of myself. So I don't want to be talking about something that I'm going through or have been through and then get caught off guard with how that impacts me emotionally. And so I'm like, now is the time to address these things that have been lying dormant in me for so long, so I can just tackle them, so I can understand them and process them and just be healthy and be a better person. So I loved it. I loved therapy today. It was a really enjoyable, it was like an intake. It was a really enjoyable experience. I feel like I got along really well with the therapist, and I know that it's just going to be good for me. So I'm proud of myself for finally going to therapy.
What's one thing you would say to somebody who's skeptical about starting therapy? Like, what pushed you? Well, I know what pushed you over the edge, but what's a push you could give somebody else to just go ahead?
What does it hurt? It does not hurt. If you go and it doesn't do anything for you, fine. But if you go and it does a lot for you and changes a lot of your perspectives and helps you, what do you have to lose? Because other than that, you're walking around almost like in a landmine. Like, you don't know when you're gonna step on a grenade or come across somebody that's gonna trigger you.
Right.
And so if you want to continue walking around in a landmine, setting yourself up to be triggered because you didn't know that it would impact you like that, then do that. But if you can avoid that, and when you step on that grenade, or if you are walking in this landmine, you are not getting caught off guard with something that triggers you, then do it.
And I feel like to that analogy, it's like walking in a landmine but not seeing it. It's like with blinders on. When you start therapy, I feel like you take the blinders off. You can see all of the grenades, and then you can step over them. You can walk around them. You can look at them. You can acknowledge them. But you are not letting them explode because you're not paying attention, or because you're not showing they're there, whether you look at them or not. So, yeah.
Wow, we just tag teamed the hell out of that analogy. That was real good.
That was an alley-oop. That was an assist.
I really like that. So that's my check-in. What's going on with you?
My check-in is, I don't know. What's my check-in, girl?
Can we talk about?
I don't know. What is it? I'll tell you after you say what it is.
Jazz.
Oh, jazz. Can we talk about jazz?
Jazz is here, y'all. Jazz is here. Jazz is here. If you don't know, Jazz is her sister. I was going to say our sister. It's really her sister, my best friend. Our sister's son. Yes. He was born yesterday morning.
Woo, go Jazz. It was your birthday. Go Jazz. It was your birthday. My sister and brother-in-law and her husband, they are just spectacular people. They are those type of people that you want to be around. They've shared their love story. They've invited everybody in. They're funny. They're fun. They're talented. They sing, which the name Jazz is kind of derived from them having just like a musical life, a spunky, fun family. And I think jazz means God's gifted or something like that. Energetic, exciting. And I feel like Jazz came and he blew all of our minds. He's the most handsome little guy. And I can't even say cute. Like, he looked like something. He is so handsome. And not only that, holding him and being around him makes me feel just good. It's like you can feel the light that's on the inside of him already, which I'm going to be praying very hard to protect that light, because it radiates off of him. Even the nurses, they'll come in and they were like, oh, he's so cute. And they were like, wait a minute. This is a really cute baby. They have to, because they see babies all day, but there is something about him. And I'm so excited to be his auntie and to be a part of his life. Congratulations to my sister and brother-in-law. This is Yelly's first baby. You did great.
We are proud of you.
So proud of you and so excited. And Case and Tula, let me tell you this little story about Tula. When Yelly first told Tula that she was pregnant, Tula went to her toy box, got a toy, and said, Auntie Yelly, I want to give this toy to Jazz. Okay, we ain't seen that toy since then. Yesterday I was like, Tula, your cousin is here. She went found that toy and was like, okay, well now I can give him the toy. And it was like, first of all, how do you know where that toy was?
How did you remember?
How did you remember? It was the exact toy, and it just was on her heart. Like, so that really touched me. Case and Tula are so excited. We're all excited. So welcome, baby Jazz.
Welcome to the world.
Girl, I thought you were finna say something else.
No, I mean, I feel like that's your latest.
That is my latest.
I feel like you have kind of been pulling yourself out of like a rift, like a funk over the last week, and I feel like it just took him to like lift you completely out of it. Because
yes, it is a bright light. He is a bright light. I'm so excited. I could literally talk about that that's probably why I didn't want to go down a rabbit hole, because I could talk about that for the whole show. I'm so giddy with excitement, and when I saw him, I ugly cried. I was so ugly. He's probably like, and he was looking at me like, okay, all right, well, so what is your lesson of this week that you want to share with everybody?
Just on a broader level, I am really big on accountability, and I've become more big on accountability over the past couple years. I just feel like it's important to be a person who is mindful of how your actions and behaviors impact others, and it's important for you to be able to recognize it almost before they even do. And so I just wanted to bring that up because you took accountability for a tiny little situation that you didn't even have to acknowledge. You know what I mean? And that just made me just so proud and happy of you and your self-awareness to be like, I don't know if this impacted people the way that I did, but just in case it does, let me go talk to this person. You were like, okay, if I did something that impacted somebody negatively, let me just address it. And while that wasn't necessarily the case, I just like that self-awareness that you have. So I guess my lesson of the week is just try to be accountable for certain situations. And even if you have an inkling that something you did or said may have impacted somebody in a negative way, just call it out. So there's no underlying issues that you have with that person.
I like that. I feel like if you don't know, just ask, and that small situation was just something that was on my heart. And I'm like, what does it hurt to just ask, and apologize just in case? It doesn't hurt anything. And so thank you for acknowledging that. I think my lesson of the week is it was something that happened with us. I feel like I was, like she kind of said, I've been pulling myself out of this rut, going through a lot of transitions, a lot of change. But I always say, I'm so thankful and grateful for all that God has given me. But I feel like I was at a place because I felt like she could handle it. So sometimes, like when you see your friend hurting or you see your friend going through something, you don't necessarily spill over you shouldn't spill over all of what's going on the inside of you. And so normally, most of the time, I would say 99% of the time, I'm mindful of how what I'm dealing with and what's going on with me will affect somebody else, because especially people that you love, because we take on each other's stuff. But I feel like lately I have not seen anything but what is in front of me, my own issues, my own problems. And I kind of dumped on her this past week. And without doing it in a way that hurt my feelings, she kind of acknowledged it in a way that said, you're not yourself. I'm getting concerned. And when I saw her concern being at a level that seemed a little higher than I was concerned for myself, that's when I knew, okay, you need to reel it back. And so I would just say my lesson of the week is just be so mindful of your dumping. Even if it's somebody who normally can handle it, even if it's somebody who has your back, who won't even say anything if it's affecting them, but be mindful of your dumping and what you have going on and how it will affect somebody else's day and somebody else's life, especially those closest to us. And this could be sister, mother, friend, husband, wife, whatever it is. Like, just be mindful.
That's really good. I think we should close out with shout outs. So I'll go first. So I want to shout out my cousins. I have 3 older cousins, 3 girl older cousins. The 4 of us are like 4 peas in a pod, inseparable, really close. I feel like I think we discussed on a different episode how seriously I take my friendships. And I think I even said I think I take my friendships more seriously than I do any other relationship. But those are my friends. And so I just want to shout them out because we have our group chat. We talk every single day. They just support me in everything I do. And sometimes I feel like I can be so caught up in my own world, in my friendships and being a mom and all of these things. I just want to take the time to let them know I appreciate them and I love them for being my first best friends. So shout out to Tennille, Stuff, and Robin. I love you guys so much. And who do you want to shout out?
You did that without crying. I'm so proud of you.
Oh my God, I'm proud of me too. I always cry.
I just knew some tears was going to fall.
They were coming. That's why I wrapped it up. So who do you want to shout out?
In lieu of you mentioning your first best friend, I just want to first say I shouted my sisters last week. Obviously, your sisters and the people in your household are your first best friend. But my very first person that I called best friend was my friend Lillian. We met when we were 7 or 8 years old, one of the two, and we just clicked from the day that we met. And here we are at 33, still with a very tight connection, with a very loving family-like vibe. And I just want to shout her out because we've been just talking a lot more actually, and it's always like we have never stopped talking. We can go a couple months sometimes without talking, but when we check in, nothing has changed. And that is a feeling that's irreplaceable. So shout out to you, Lillian. I love you so much, and thank you for 28 great years of friendship.
Yay. Well, we'll catch y'all on the next episode. Thank you for joining us.
Girl, strike a pose now if you with me. What we gotta say may be different, but we be really out here every day trying to live in love. We just set the tone.